And we open episode 6 with Luke Davies, poet and novelist whose works include Candy and Isabel the Navigator, and whose book Totem was awarded the Age Book of the Year in 2004. Well, I'd like to begin to talk to you, or for you to talk to me about flying. The idea of being suspended and moving at the same time in your work, I suppose, and then for you as a writer, how flying operates.
That's an interesting question. Specifically, I really like the experience of flying. I don't like the experience of travel so much, and I don't like the experience of going to too many places in a short period of time, but I really like the experience of being in other places, and I really like airplanes. I associate airplanes with a state of suspended animation and being kind of tired and out of work, which is not a good state to be in for a long time. But because there's the emotional content of flying that involves traveling and being in different places and new experiences, that somehow makes it okay.
Can you talk to me about, I suppose, the symbols of flights? I mean, ones that come to my mind, or sky even, are obviously things in an event horizon, but then there are lots of bees, and there are lots of hawks.
Yeah.
There's stars.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. There is a lot of sky and air and flight in my work. I don't know, bees seem to have become a recurring symbol of something juicy. The hawk keeps recurring. That's like a death symbol, basically, a death totem. So whenever you see a hawk in my poem, it tends to be quite abstract, in my poetry, I mean.
The novel that you're working on is about Howard Hughes.
Yeah. The initial point was I was really interested in his obsessive-compulsive disorder, and that interest continues. The flight stuff grew out of that, like, you know, his obsession with flight was something that I discovered as a result of starting to investigate what it might have been that he was interested in that allowed him to break free from the prison of his obsessive-compulsive disorder. The flight stuff is a result of that interest, and it's sort of overtaken the book. Well, flying and sex. Flying and fucking. It's the same story that I'm telling in all those things. That's what it feels like. The story is about how to live in the face of death.
You talk about these ideas of how to survive, I don't know, in the face of death or when it's approaching, or the possibility of it. What about the mini-deaths that people have? The idea of loneliness.
The whole question of how to live properly includes how to live in the face of loss as well, you know. None of those things about. I think the real trick is to learn to live, live openly enough that you're able to face and experience the sorrows of life as well as the joys. That would include loss, and ultimately that would include death, perhaps. Certainly the death of others, anyway.
What about sleep?
It's very corny and old-fashioned, you know. It's like eat your greens, get enough sleep type thing. But me and sleep, we have a very good relationship, and I like sleep, you know. And I'm living in this new place now where I can hear this. I can hear the waves at night, and it does something very, very special to the world of sleep and the world of dreams, you know. I work hard at. I get informed by my dreams. I'm kind of in touch with them, you know?
Has that always been so, divining sort of by sleep?
No, I think you have to work really hard at that. I think you have to be very enthusiastic about it, very patient, and you have to live a life where you actually get enough sleep and enough of a non-frantic space in the waking up space to be able to contemplate what just went on for the last 8 hours or whatever, or what you remember of it. And then I think you have to gradually, over a period of years, get good at working out your own personal symbol system, because all books about dream symbolism and all idiots on the radio who people ring in and ask about their dreams, it's just absolute bullshit, it's nonsense, you know. But each person is capable of working out that stuff for themselves.
I was going to ask you to tell us one of your dreams as well. That is detailed.
Having said that, oh
Yeah,
God, I've had
exactly.
some. No, I could. If asked, I
Yeah.
would. The last 2 years, I dream a lot about horses. I'm not sure what that means. Sometimes it takes a while to work things out. And plane crashes lately. I had a dream the other night that I was in a room full of pigeons. They kept multiplying. Every second of the dream, there were more and more pigeons in the room, just getting in the way, and I was trying to work out a way to get them all out at the same time and get these big sheets of board that would push them all towards the window, otherwise they'd all panic and keep... I very much figured that was a dream about the inside of my head at the moment, and having too many things going on, and a part of me saying, you have to get rid of the pigeons, you know, you have to get rid of all the little bits and pieces that are...
Could possibly also, pigeons I suppose could be, you know, film crews and people wanting to talk to you about your work.
Yeah, it could be that kind of thing. But the thing is, you know, like I dream a lot about large birds and crows and stuff, and I know that a pigeon is a different dream. It's about a, you know, it's about a kind of messy, urban, crappy, shoddy sort of... It's not about one of the noble, magnificent birds.
No.
I very rarely have bad dreams. You know, sometimes they're disturbing and weird and edgy, but something that you would technically describe as a nightmare that you wake up from in terror, I don't think I've had something like that in a long, long time. I don't know, 10 or 15 years or something like that. Not to say that it won't happen. And there's one poem I've got, one of my favourite poems, a really old little poem called Childhood Terror, which is about my relationship with my father, and it's about being attacked by a bird, by a magpie.
Is it?
And my father coming to the rescue. Yeah, so I really like that poem very much. Childhood Terror. At Minnamurra Avenue, the bush, the creek, my father and I. We went to the edge of the falls for revenge, to find my attacker, the magpie. The afternoon grey, the blackbird gone, my sobbing subsiding. Dad held my hand, hurled rocks into the empty trees, screamed at the black bush, "Go away!" I loved him for pretending.